Vikings Rant. We're very excited to have everybody here today, and I hope you enjoy what we have to offer. I'm Nathan Schulte.
I'm Dirk Oppenhauer.
And I'm Isaac Logeman.
And we are here to rant about all of the Vikings updates from this week. And we are excited to do so. Am I right, Dirk?
You are correct.
What do we have on the docket today? What's big? What's happening?
Well, we got to look at a Ravens game against the Ravens in which we completely clipped their feathers by beating them 24-16 in what was pretty dominant defensive fashion, I will say ourselves. And what was the special part of that game, Nathan? Do you remember?
Oh, the fact that we were there!
Wow! We have money!
No, we just aren't good with our money.
It's interesting because nobody was there to sign autographs, meaning that this show probably hasn't taken off yet, but it will get there eventually.
Yeah, we do want to talk to everybody who's listening to the show and didn't come to see autographs. I'm mad about that. All right.
Well, let's talk about our experience of being at our first Vikings game.
Yes,
for Isaac, but Isaac still had a good experience.
Let's share. For anyone out there who hasn't seen a Vikings game, first of all, our official recommendation is that you go, because it is fun. And as members of the media, Dirk and I will be at a lot of them from here on out. And Isaac, of course. But let's talk about the games. They are so fun, right? The sights, the sounds.
Yes.
I mean, it is so cool to see this action happen live. But not only that, but to be a part of maybe the wave going around the stadium for four times.
Yes, 4 times the wave went around the stadium. The intro was one of the coolest things I'd seen. U.S. Bank is the first stadium that I have seen in person in my life where my jaw dropped. Target Field, I went to that the first year. I was like, this is a nice stadium. Nothing that special. And then the Metrodome, of course, is just complete shit. But U.S. Bank Stadium was maybe the best stadium I've ever been to in my life.
Yes, and their intro, dare I say, is better than our intro to our show. So that's something to be said. I mean, the music and the fire and the fireworks and the songs.
And
it's
the
awesome.
video on screen with Randy Moss.
Yes, true.
Yes.
All that before, and then they all come running out, and it's just so hype.
It's very hype. And the other part I really enjoyed about the game was the fact that was when the stadium had got to third down, and we were on defense. Got very loud.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yes.
It's third down.
Yes, that was a very fun part. Isaac, what was your most enjoyable part of the game?
To be honest, I think there is no place better on earth than that place during a Vikings game. It's honestly beautiful. And I have to say, experiencing it with people who are really into the Vikings is a little better than experiencing it with fam who are just there because the fam is there. So it's pretty good to go crazy.
This is awkward for his family.
Love my family to pieces. Going with them actually January 1st against the Bears. And I will be hype again. And they won't be. But that's okay because I love my family.
You mean Mama Logeman will not be pumped for Vikings?
Mama Logeman loves her kids, and her kids love the Vikings, so she supports us. But I wouldn't say she will be hype.
Well, all right, well, it's time to talk about the game itself. Dirk, some pretty awful calls in this one.
Oh, there was some horse crap calls. Right, all game. I mean, let's talk about the first one. On that one interception, Laquan Treadwell getting his arm completely held
Laquan Treadwell goes up for the one-handed catch, and people were like, he's just trying to do what he did last week. Well, not really.
Yeah,
he's just trying to do what he could with his hand being held
by Brandon Carr.
Yes, what a jerk.
And then, of course, let's see, what were the other calls? We had a couple.
The call that Andrew Sendejo got suspended for.
Yes, that is a very questionable call, and I could see it going both ways. Definitely might have been a penalty on the field, but I don't know about suspension, but I've yet to see more replays than just on the stadium Jumbotron.
Listen, here's what the refs have to understand. Andrew Sendejo is going to whack whoever he tackles. That's just who he is. And so you can't blame him for that. You know, you can't stop him from doing that.
No, he just goes for hits.
He just goes for hits.
There is nothing
and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, he will never be a ball hawking safety. He will always be Harrison Smith's sidekick. Harrison Smith is Batman. Andrew Sendejo is Robin.
I don't know. Maybe Robin Jr. I don't know if he's full Robin. Dude's good. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know if he's full Robin.
Yeah, talking about that and our dominant 24-16 win over the Ravens. The only reason that appears close, folks, is because Trey Waynes let up a touchdown with 0 seconds remaining in the fourth, so Joe Flacco could at least try to look elite, which he was not.
Not to mention, we left a lot of yards on the field in the red zone. I mean, there was another stupid penalty, was the Adam Thielen push-off penalty, and if you can't see, I'm doing air quotes, because it was in no way a push-off, and he was really kind of just being held before, and he got away from them, and he separated, and he caught the ball for a first down, penalty flag, and that was the end of that drive.
That happens on almost every football play, but we'll get to the offense later. Right now, the defense, which was the star, we allowed just 208 yards of total offense to the Ravens, and they only averaged 3.3 yards per pass, and while getting sacked about 5 times, I can say Joe Flacco is not elite.
Yeah, no. And also, Joe Flacco had, 50 yards of passing going into to halftime?
Into halftime sounds about right, yes.
Yeah, and I think he was under 100 until the fourth quarter. He got a lot of garbage time yards, folks, so that's why he might have looked better than he played. He played awful.
Yeah. Part of the reason, though, is that he did not even have enough time to hit his wide receiving core, which was injured, I will admit. Everson Griffin got 2 more sacks, Anthony Barr his first of the year, and then Danielle Hunter. I thought Joe Flacco was going to leave with a concussion after that one.
Oh, yeah. Danielle Hunter ran over Joe Flacco. And Everson Griffin now at 9 sacks for the year. That's pretty exciting. He's having a big year.
They don't call him the sack daddy for no reason.
Yes, we can continue to look for Everson Griffin to have performance like that, especially this week against the Cleveland Browns, whose left tackle
is out for the season.
Yes.
And we will get to that later. So we didn't force a ton of turnovers, but as we mentioned, Kendricks and Barr had pretty good games, and there was great coverage on the outside. Kendricks was actually tackling for once this week.
And you know what? Trey Waynes did not have an awful game either. He stuck with his receiver, and he didn't really let him get away. There was 1 or 2 catches, but you know what? We can still expect that from Trey. He's still developing. He's only 3 years in the NFL.
For example, for the first time in history that I can remember, Trey Waynes actually made a tackle by legit hitting someone and knocking them over right there instead of being carried 3 yards and then the guy
Trey Waynes looked like a monster on that play. I mean, seriously, we were up in the stands. We were like, oh, God, is he going to get up?
I thought that was Xavier Rhodes, and then I saw the dreadlocks and realized I was like, holy hell, that is actually not Xavier Rhodes.
It's Trey Waynes. One of the best corners in the NFL.
We also did a great job on run stuffing with Linval Joseph in the middle of the field, and our entire front seven, only 64 yards of rushing allowed to the Ravens.
Yes.
We do not have a bad offensive line. It's not great, obviously, but it's not bad.
Hey, our offensive line was rated 3rd in the NFL this week by NFL.com, wasn't it?
I saw that, and now that is...
And Kai Forbath.
Forbath
was the special teams player of the week.
Oh, how could we not forget about what has suddenly become our best offensive weapon, Kai Forbath. Holy crow, I've never thought I would say that in my life.
Yes, holy crow indeed, Dirk.
6 of 6 on field goals in a game in which there was a record amount, tied for the record of most field goals by both teams combined in an NFL game in history. Kai had 6 of them, a long of 52.
And 2 over 50.
2 over 50. Which was
Kai
great.
Forbath, he didn't miss a field goal this game. That's always good.
He missed an extra point.
Yes.
Which is pretty common.
I said, up in the upper tier right before he kicked it, Kai Forbath shanks it wide right.
I think that was Isaac.
No, that was Nathan.
I'm pretty certain Isaac said that. Isaac, what do you remember?
Well, let's see. I was sitting next to Isaac, so there's a good chance I said it to Isaac, and then he repeated it to you.
Oh, that's a good, communications right there.
I said it, guys.
You might have said it after I said it.
I said it.
But of course, as we mentioned, you go to a Vikings game, you can't expect someone to go 7 for 7 on kicks. There will be one miss at least.
Not since Blair Walsh shanked the field goal that would have sent us to the next tier in the playoffs. Ever since then, we have not been able to have a consistent field goal cooker. And it kind of sucks, we do what we can. And we've still been winning, except for last year against the Detroit Lions, in which we lost both games because of poor special teams play. But that is neither here nor there.
But we do now seem to have a consistent running game, which is something we didn't have last year.
And you know what? We have 2 threats that complement each other very well, Dirk. Would you agree?
I would agree Latavius Murray and Jerick McKinnon are 2 very different styles that complement each other well. It's almost like butter on bread.
And you know what? It allows some games Latavius Murray's going to have a good game, and then some games it's going to be Jerick McKinnon. It's purely dependent upon what the defense is giving us and who will be the better running back for the situation.
Yes, let's talk about that. Latavius Murray has, I would say, breakout performance here in Minnesota. 18 carries for 113 yards and his first touchdown in a Vikings uniform.
You know what, Dirk? I disagree. I think the game that he had 20 yards was his big breakout performance.
That was nowhere close to breakout, and I don't know what you are smoking.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying a joke because it is clearly his breakout performance. Latavius Murray had a huge day. I mean, what was that? A 30-yard run for a touchdown in which he jukes out their safety?
Oh, yes.
Who knew Latavius Murray had those kind of moves?
And before that, on that drive, he had a big, about 45, 50-yard run from about our 25-yard line. He was stopped in the backfield, he cut back again, and he was loose, as Paul Allen would say.
Yes, well, not completely loose because he would have scored, but he was pretty loose. Here's the thing about Latavius Murray. He's looking a lot better, and people were giving him crap, and there was one article that said, Latavius Murray, who knows if they can ever count on that performance from him again. Here's the thing. People forget. He had ankle surgery in the offseason. He was still recovering from that in the first few games this season, and Latavius Murray finally starting to look healthy.
Yes, Latavius Murray is starting to look healthy. Jerick McKinnon still ran for 47 yards and caught a couple nice screen passes. So we definitely have a 1-2 punch now, and our offensive line is looking great, and we even were playing well. All those Latavius Murray runs came after Jeremiah Searles went down with an injury, I believe.
Yes, I'm not quite sure on that. Danny Isidore did, though, come in for Jeremiah Searles after he went down with a knee injury. Danny Isidore is our third-string left guard, second-string right guard. So, interesting there, Dirk.
Yes, although Mike did say after the game, the injuries to him, Searles and Reif do not appear to be serious, and there's a very good likelihood
we're not sure about Searles. He did not quite say anything directly about that.
But Reif should not be serious.
Reif should be okay.
Was on the sideline.
No, Reif did not practice today.
Oh, who also did not practice today?
I don't know. Isaac had a list for us.
Yes, we just got that. The one thing I was really intrigued with, Case Keenum, limited due to chest, which I didn't know about. You guys hear anything about that today?
It's because his heart is so big.
We also we had Sam Bradford again. He's out.
Oh, he's out.
Not for the game necessarily.
For like the third week in a row?
I don't know. But he doesn't like playing. Actually, he's kind of done with us. No, I like Sam Bradford. Riley Reif did not participate. Jeremiah, he's not practicing. Stephen Weatherly not practicing.
Yes.
And then we have Mackenzie, Tremaine, Stefan, Nick Easton. If you didn't know, there's a lot of Nicks around in the world. I just thought I'd clarify. Michael Floyd, Case Keenum, and Laquan Treadwell. Laquan Treadwell is full. The rest were limited. I don't know why Laquan is on here as a full participant.
It's his toe, right?
It is his toe. Yes.
So they just have to put it on.
So Case Keenum has chest
this morning,
problems.
actually.
Well, no
on the
matter
way to the bathroom, he stubbed his toe.
If he has any sort of injury, they do have to list it, even if he fully participated.
Yes. Nathan is
Just
good
the
at those
right
reports.
Okay, so great. So a week after our offense does very good job running the ball, we probably will not do well running the ball again.
Why do you say that, Dirk?
I don't know. Cleveland
did have a very good showing against the Tennessee Titans this week.
They did.
But Tennessee Titans are without their quarterback, right?
No, they had Mariota.
Mariota's back.
But let's talk about our quarterback, who apparently has chest problems.
I think
and had a lot of problems throwing the football on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm not so concerned about the chest problems. I am concerned about Case Keenum's ability to recover from, say, an interception and kind of regain his confidence. Because there were parts in the game where I feel like he could have taken more shots downfield and definitely had receivers open that he just missed. And there were passes missed, and I feel like Case Keenum left a lot out on the field.
Yeah. I thought Case left a lot out, too. He definitely did not trust his deep ball after that first interception. He missed a lot of, wide open throws, or not wide open, I'd say, but ones you could definitely fit in there that he has been. And at the same time, Case also made a couple questionable throws. He almost threw about 2 or 3 more picks.
Yeah, and here's the thing about Case Keenum, he definitely has been able to hold in there as a placeholder for us, and he's doing a good job of kind of protecting the ball. He's doing an okay job. He's doing a good job of game management, especially in the late games. He's been able to get us on field and get us the yardage we need to win the games. And so we can appreciate that from Case Keenum, but he still leaves a lot to be desired.
He definitely does, but he led us to the victory. That's all that matters. Let's talk about our breakout player of the week, Jarius Wright. 3 catches for 54 yards and a couple of nice diving ones as well.
Well, I don't know if he's necessarily a breakout player considering how long he has been with the Vikings, and certainly he has had much bigger seasons in the past. But as the Vikings have continued to add receiver threats, see Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, Laquan Treadwell, all of these guys have taken away from Jarius Wright's playing time, but he still remains on our team because of his consistency. We can always count on Jarius Wright for a play.
Very true. So that is our offensive stats. And now let's just talk about how awful the Baltimore Ravens were. We mentioned Flacco only 186 yards. Their top running back, Alex Collins, ran for just 30. They're really banged up. Rashad Hill was blocking Terrell Suggs. Are the Baltimore Ravens done?
Well, I guess, yes, probably. They do have to face the Steelers, which sucks for them. I don't know. It's not the worst division, so they'll probably... I mean, it is almost the worst division except for the Steelers.
Good, so we can look back and say that the Vikings technically ended their season.
I don't know about that, because they could still come back. But the Vikings did beat them, which is what I care about.
Yes, that was a very important victory. So, in the end, a 24-16 victory for our Minnesota
and you know
Vikings.
What? It could turn out that the Ravens come on strong again, and it was just because they played good teams like the Vikings. Say, example, for the Saints, who got destroyed in Week 1, and now are being the destroyers.
Yeah.
And everyone was saying after Week 1, well, the Vikings look good against the Saints, but clearly their defense is not as improved as we thought. Well, their defense is as improved as we thought, and the Vikings are much better on offense when they have a quarterback who is capable of executing the game plan the way Pat Shurmur knows it can be executed.
And now we are 5-2, tied for the second best record in the NFC, and we are up to about, I think most power rankings have us at about number 7 or number 8.
Yes, things are looking good for the Vikings, but we do need to slow down because, there's still a long season left. As we learned last year, things can go bad quick, but... Looking back at last year's schedule, Dirk, do you know how many wins we had going into our bye?
5.
Yes. And then we proceeded to lose 4 straight. So, if we can get one more win, we will be in a much better place this season than we were last year at this time. So, we can look forward to that. If we can beat Cleveland, which we should. People are saying, we can't count out Cleveland, but this Cleveland win should be an easy one for us.
It should be. Do you want to go preview the Browns-Vikings game right now?
Dirk, there are just so many things that we could
nice
throw
words
nice
with
words
Isaac.
at this week. I just had a ton of fun. Didn't you?
I had a lot of fun.
We did have fun.
It was a great day. So many things to have nice words for. Things like the audience. The fans were spectacular. We have great fans in Minnesota. They were just cheering all game long. And so as I was thinking through what I was going to pick for this week, I was thinking about the fans a lot. And then I was thinking, what made the fans cheer the most? So this week, my nice words is going to go to an interesting character and kind of lead into another thing that also deserves nice words. So, this week, I am giving my nice words to the scoreboard operator, who did great graphics all game long and doing cool things on the scoreboard. But at the end of the game, when we're just having a ton of fun, he takes it up, he or she, I don't know. I'm sorry that I assumed he there. It could be a woman. He or she took it up another level and throws the final score of the Packers-Saints games on the scoreboard, and the crowd goes wild. Absolutely insane. It was so much fun. I mean, they were cheering all game long, but you never get a bigger cheer from Minnesota Vikings fans than showing that the Packers had a bad day. So that is who gets the nice words, but also I want to say with that, I got to throw out to the Saints here, because the Saints, 2 things the Saints did this week. 1, they won again, which makes us look better because we just pooped all over them first week. It was great. 2, they beat the Packers, and we hate the Packers. So, nice job, Saints. Nice job, scoreboard operator, Mr. or Mrs. I loved it. Keep it going. You do fantastic work there. I'll see you next week.
Well, actually, you will not, in fact, see that next week, because they are in London, so we cannot go to the game.
I was actually discussing our listeners on the podcast. I'll see them next week for the nice words segment.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking to the scoreboard operator again, be it a woman or a man.
It's actually my uncle, so it is a man.
It's
not your uncle.
It's not your uncle.
I
apologize.
Not your uncle.
You bring out a good point, though. The Packers did, again, lose to the Saints. That's their second loss in a row. Now a full game behind us, the Minnesota Vikings.
But don't worry, guys. Brett Hundley still's got it.
Oh, you mean got 88 yards? Then yes, he does have that.
Yeah, Brett Hundley's got the ability to take that team to the bottom of the division.
Yeah, great week for NFC North quarterbacks. We have 4 completions over on the Bears side.
Mr. Trubisky, 4
we got
completions.
under 100 out of the Packers, and Matthew Stafford is just like, he's hurt, right?
Matthew Stafford, they were on a bye, but he's not doing great. And then Keenum's not great, didn't do well.
You can't give Case too many points this week either, so it's a bad week all around.
Speaking of quarterbacks, though, our own Teddy Bridgewater gains another day closer to playing with each day that passes.
Although I have heard Teddy will officially, though, still be out when we play the Cleveland Browns this week, which I think
according
is a smart...
to who?
Bleacher Report.
Well, it has not been reported officially, and in fact, Mike Zimmer was yelling at a report Bleacher Report did that said that Teddy Bridgewater was going to be out of this game because the field was too slippery, and Mike Zimmer came on and said, "I don't know anything about that," so that's clearly wrong.
That might not be the reason Teddy's out.
Also, I don't think I've ever heard Mike Zimmer yell in a press conference. I think you're misspoken.
Well, he not necessarily yelling, but he was, correcting a mistake that he had seen. He said, "Now I have not heard anything about that, so that's clearly wrong." Those were almost his exact words.
Yeah, so we are, as we mentioned, the field is wet. And why is the field wet? Because our Vikings are going to London this week.
Why would it be
London
wet if it's in London?
I don't know. We're just going to London. It's exciting.
Well, I get that you're using an accent, but I don't understand why the field's wet.
I see London, I see France. I can see your underpants.
And your underpants are down and peeing, and that's why the field's wet? Or I still don't follow why.
I just, lots of things I know about London, and that's one of them.
I've been to London. It's a very nice city.
I have not been to London.
It's a good city for us to kick the Browns' butt.
Yes, but more on Teddy Bridgewater. He obviously probably will not be activated this week. First of all, we play an easy opponent, so why bring him back for an easy opponent when we don't need him necessarily? And second of all, I mean, it's not his home turf.
Hold on. Do you if Case's chest problem gets worse and Case might have to sit out, then do you bring Teddy back?
Well, there's a certain date that they actually have to decide upon because they have to still activate him from the PUP. But, they might. They might if Case doesn't look like he's going to play because we don't necessarily want to see Kyle Slaughter because he is, how you say, unproven.
Yeah, very. Very.
I saw an interesting ESPN article, Dirk. I was telling you about this before the show, where they were talking about people you would trade, or it was the article's called "Some Just for Fun NFL Trade Deadline Ideas," and so you tell me if we should be offended from this article. First of all, Teddy Bridgewater to the Cardinals for a conditional mid-round pick.
No,
that's too low. I mean, am I wrong?
Oh, no, you're not wrong at all. I mean, we haven't seen the guy play yet. Why should we trade a quarterback away when we have a backup in Case Keenum who is average, and Sam Bradford is still hurt, and we don't know what to do at quarterback? Teddy might be our best option going forward.
Yes, and also especially, I feel like we should be trading maybe Sam Bradford. I mean, the dude looks awful.
He has, and there's one game back against Chicago, and then he's just gone back into obsoleteness.
Yeah, he's not looking too good, and it sucks because we were really excited about him going into this season, and he looked great against the Saints, so we proved our excitement, but then he went down with another papier-mâché Bradford injury. So, they said Case Keenum has been solid enough in a backup role. First of all, solid enough. So, solid enough that we trade away our future quarterback? Smart on us. No. And that is not easy call to turn the ball over to Teddy, they said, because of how well Case Keenum's been playing. Isaac, any opinions about that?
Well, okay, I'll agree with you that what we're saying here, that's too low. Ridiculous. We'll never do that. But Nathan and I have been discussing a lot today. I feel that Nathan, I know I love Teddy Bridgewater, but I think Nathan sees TV a little bit through his golden star glasses. He just, you love Teddy Bridgewater so much, and you think he is going to take our team from this to the Patriots in the past 10 years. And I don't see it. I don't think the difference between right now and Teddy for the next few weeks is that much.
Well,
he's been out for a year and a half.
Here's what I don't think you understand. How long he's actually been back practicing. So he has been off the field, yes, obviously, but he's been on the practice field throwing balls. So his arm is better than it was because he's been focusing on upper body strength through all these years. So he has said that he is zipping the ball more, that he is capable of throwing more deep passes more accurately. And he was already more accurate than Case Keenum before he went down with injuries. So, we're getting that back.
But Nathan,
But not only that, we're getting cool and calm
Here's
heads.
the thing. There are kids that in classes may do homework all semester long, and they're practicing.
Not
they're doing
you.
it, and they just bomb the final. All right? I don't think
That is Case Keenum. That is what I'm saying. Case
Keenum is
bombs
not.
the final.
He's been doing tests all week long, all season long.
He does tests
Teddy
every
Bridgewater
game, but then
just does a little homework, okay? And good for him. But that doesn't show what you like in the
We
game.
haven't tested
We
Teddy
have not
Bridgewater.
seen him.
We haven't given Teddy
And
a
he
test.
may be great. He may
Here's
be
the thing.
Stop,
we need to
stop,
give Teddy a
stop.
test.
Teddy may be good. Teddy may be great. I love Teddy Bridgewater. But I don't think our quarterback matters as much to our team as you two make him out to be.
nah, I don't. Okay, first of all,
We can
look
make
at any NFL team that's just god awful and look at their quarterback situation. I guarantee you, it's not great. Let's see, who are the two undefeated or completely defeated teams this year, Dirk?
the San Francisco 49ers and the Cleveland Browns.
Okay, have they had one quarterback all season?
No, they've had the Browns case. They've had 3, and the 49ers have had 2.
And how are their backups? Good? Elite?
No.
No, and they're 0 and
Nathan,
7 at
how
this
are the
point.
Ravens? How are the Ravens? Do you want that team?
The Ravens are 3-3. That's not that
Oh,
bad.
no. We should not. Hold on. Ravens are different. They overpaid for a quarterback who was good at the time, and they.
But
It was
Nathan's
overrated.
claim right now is that one quarterback is going to be great. If you have one quarterback and it's settled and it's all
I
good,
am not
you're
saying,
great.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that quarterbacks win games. They're cool and calm decision making.
Not in the Vikings.
Case Keenum has not once led a game-winning drive this season. Teddy Bridgewater did that like 3 or 4 times. He knows how to do it. He's been in the situation, and it'll come back to him. Maybe not the first week he's back, but it will come back to him by the time he gets to the playoffs. And that is the guy that we need if we want to go deep.
If you want to go to the playoffs, Case Keenum, right now Case Keenum's the quarterback. And if Bridgewater comes back and is slightly better, or was what he is, you can win the Super Bowl. No, we do not need super elite quarterback play to win the Super Bowl because of our defense and our contributing players. But it would be nice to have a slightly above average quarterback, maybe top 15-ish, that could drive an offense down, because we are not going to be able to win games later rounds of the playoffs by kicking 5 field goals and scoring 1 touchdown.
I agree. A quarterback is great. But as long as we have the team we have today, and we have Mike Zimmer as head coach, our team will never, ever, at its base level, be a quarterback-driven team. That's not who our team is.
We're not saying it's quarterback-driven. We're saying it helps, and I think think Bridgewater is a better quarterback than Keenum.
To be fair, to go a little further, our quarterback situation, no matter where they're at, is not going to affect our team as much as the defense is. And I think Teddy Bridgewater could be great, but I think they've said it before. I said it last year, and they were wrong last year. But we're similar to the Broncos of 4 years ago.
2015, yeah.
Peyton Manning sucked that year.
I agree with that.
And they won it by defense. Sure, a better quarterback may have been, helpful a little bit, but a better quarterback wouldn't have drastically changed the course of their season. And Teddy Bridgewater won't drastically change the course of our season.
But I think when you look at Peyton Manning, once again, you have a guy who's capable of making the right decision at the right time. And I'm just not sure that Case Keenum will ever be that guy.
That's fair.
He
That's
chokes
okay.
in the red zone repeatedly. He only has 5 touchdowns on this season. And I don't think we can go to the playoffs if our quarterback continues to throw so few touchdowns.
I think we can go to the playoffs based on the division we're in. I don't think we can go anywhere beyond the divisional round.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if we get Teddy Bridgewater back soon, we'll be able to have a play for a bye.
See, the thing is, I think we do need better quarterback play. While it's definitely not the heart and soul of our team. When we play an offense like Philadelphia, who we would probably have to play to get to the Super Bowl, we're going to need a quarterback that can actually put touchdowns on the board and not field goals in the red zone. And I just feel like Teddy Bridgewater can do that better than Keenum.
Well, the way the season is going, I think we can agree that there's a good possibility that Teddy Bridgewater will play again. Would you agree?
Yes.
I agree
that we're going to see. We will see.
Right.
Do we think he's coming back week 10 against the Redskins or week 11 against the Rams? Someone was talking about this on the internet.
Week 10 against the Redskins.
They think there's actually a good chance they bring him back from the PUP list in week 10, make him the backup quarterback, and then Week 11 he starts when we're back at home against the Rams.
Well, I think Week 10 against the Redskins. But first, let's focus on Week 8 against the Cleveland Browns, the last game going into our bye. Browns haven't won a game all year. They lost 12-9 at Tennessee last week. Deshaun Kaiser will be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, is being reported. 3 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Again, the Browns missed on Deshaun Watson and another possible franchise quarterback. Not shocking. They only score 14.7 points per game, last in the league, and they're only converting 28.7% on third down. Defensively, the Browns allow 24.1 points per game. Sack leader Myles Garrett, the number 1 pick in last year's draft, is in concussion protocol. They don't know if he's going to even make the trip to London. And future Hall of Fame left tackle Joe Thomas is out for the season, so Everson Griffin is preparing to eat.
Yeah, Everson Griffin might have 3 sacks in this game, at least. But they will probably be chipping him all game, so we can look forward to seeing that.
I mean, and if you want to talk about easy day for Xavier Rhodes, their top leading receiver is a running back named Duke Johnson.
And again, they let the Terrell Pryor go to the Redskins in free agency. Yeah. Maybe not their best call because he had a 1,000-yard season the year before.
Yeah.
And Deshaun Kaiser, starting quarterback. No guarantee we'll see him at the end of the game, though. Their coach has a tendency to, bench him after a few picks.
Yeah.
And, you talked about eating with Everson. I think our defense has a good chance to get quite a few interceptions.
We have a good chance at quite a few turnovers.
Which honestly, the Vikings have been lacking this year in terms of the turnovers. Like Harrison Smith has 3, but we're nowhere near the top of the NFL in terms of turnovers.
And 2 of the Browns.
But that's a little bit luck too. I mean, last year you saw that the first 4 games of the year we had an astronomically high amount of turnovers, and that was exciting and fun, but it's just not sustainable. And I think we will get more now because we're a little less. It's a little bit flip of the dice.
Yeah,
flip of the coin.
Yeah.
Roll the dice.
If we continue to play good defense, the turnovers will come.
Yeah. I'm just amazed though. I was reading another article just now, and
of course
the Cleveland Browns have won 1 game in their last 26 games.
And that would make it all the more embarrassing if we don't do what we should do against them.
That is true.
And looking at our injury report, Keenum does have chest problems. I'm reading fast reaction that they do not think it's anything serious. He, of course, will make the trip to London. Diggs is moving in the right direction. Nick Easton's moving in the right direction. Their two top defensive backs, Jason McCourty and Jabril Peppers, did not practice today. So looking at this in the turnover margin, which the Browns at -11, we are +1. We should win this unless Kyle Slaughter plays or we just become classic Vikings and lay an egg. And in that case, fire everybody.
I don't know about fire everybody because I think Mike Zimmer might be a genius. But yes, this should be an easy win. I'm gonna count in the W column.
What's your prediction, Nathan?
My prediction: Vikings 42, Browns 10.
I'm going to predict the Vikings win this game. I think the Vikings shut out the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to say Vikings 28, Browns nothing.
You know, I think sometimes you two overreact a lot. That is, kind of how the show goes. That's all right. But I got to agree with you, it's going to be a blowout. The 3 games in London so far this year have been big blowouts. It was 2 shutouts, I believe, and then just a big blowout.
And none of them have been upsets, by the way. Let's just point that out.
That is true. I think we ride into the bye, sit in really pretty, and we got to watch it because, that happened last year a little bit, and a lot of it, actually.
A little bit different here, but
But anyway, it's going to be a blowout. I'm going to go. I don't think I can get 42 points with Case Keenum, who you hate so much.
Oh, no, sorry. My bold prediction was that Teddy Bridgewater gets activated because Case Keenum can't play.
I'm sorry I missed that.
Yes.
Well, anyway, I'm going to go 34 to 3.
My bold prediction is going to be Diggs comes back and scores 2 touchdowns.
My bold prediction, we get 8 sacks.
Oh, wow.
Jeez. I could see it. All right, thank you.
And Nathan, the last part, actually, we should turn to, since we had
the
college football
Hawkeye
rivalry.
Gopher game.
Isaac is departing the station. So, everyone, thank you, Isaac, for coming on this week. We will see you next week.
Well, that was awkward, Dirk. And now for the last minute of conversation, the Hawkeye Gopher game. Dirk, I feel like the Hawkeyes are going to destroy your Minnesota Gophers.
Well, Nathan, both teams are 4-3 coming into this. Big and part.
Yeah, a few unlucky losses for the Hawkeyes. One in the last second against Penn State, who is seen by many as the number 2 team in the nation.
And I think we'll beat Ohio State this week. The Gophers are led by a powerful running attack led by Rodney Smith, who has 545 yards, but the passing attack is awful with Demery Cruff and Connor Rhoda at quarterback. Top receiver Tyler Johnson has 499 yards and 7 touchdowns. For Iowa, much better quarterback play.
Yes,
Nathan
Nate
Stanley.
He's having a great year. He looks like he could be an NFL quarterback, much like his predecessor, C.J. Beathard, starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers.
Nathan is big on C.J. Beathard being the starter.
C.J. Beathard will be the next Tom Brady, and I'm disappointed that the Vikings did not draft him.
Okay, I don't think that's happening. Akram Wadley leads their team with 573 yards of rushing.
Akram
Wadley,
yes.
And defensive-wise, Iowa allows 18.4 points per game. Minnesota allows 19. While the team's Iowa averages 24, Minnesota 27. Their defense is led by Steven Richardson, a possible future NFL defensive tackle for the Gophers, and Josie Jewell, a future middle linebacker for the Hawkeyes.
Yes, Josie Jewell looks amazing. He might be looking after Eric Kendrick's job soon.
So Nathan, this is a 5:30 kickoff at Kinnick. Who wins?
Are you kidding me? The Hawkeyes by like 20.
I'm going to say the Gophers by 7.
Dirk, as usual, you are ignorant. All right, thank you for listening to this week's of Vikings Rant. We hope you turn in next week to hear more about the game after Cleveland. Hopefully what is a win and going into a bye. A very exciting and very huge bye.
Yes, a bye in which we can just laugh at the rest of the National Football League.
Hopefully after the bye we get all those injured players back. Thank you for listening.
Because if we lose to the Browns, for sure the league will be laughing at us.
Yeah, hopefully we are coming back another 6-2 team. Something we never got to last year. All right, thank you. This is Nathan Schulte.
I'm Dirk Ummenhauer.
We'll see you next time.